with a focus on the three bases of ID. And you all can see right now that we are going to record the teaching portion of this practice today. It will be turned off, of course, when we're in breakout rooms. We're just wanting to capture every little bit of good teaching that we can get from Gregory. And I think we all know Gregory, right, as our founding teacher of the Insight Dialogue community and this relational practice. He's been teaching and exploring deeply this relational understanding of Dhamma for way over 20 years and teaching Dhamma worldwide since 1980. I also want to thank Zooming for being our Zoom host today. I kind of like that, Zooming and Zoom host, right? It's maybe she just has a natural connection to it. And Zooming is a member actually of the Guiding Sangha, which is our leadership board, and also deeply committed to supporting this community in so many ways. I just wanted to acknowledge that also. And before Gregory begins, I'd also like to just briefly speak about Dana. This practice of giving and generosity that supports us on this path towards less suffering and greater freedom, widening our lens of concern and helping us to relinquish our attachments. So joining together in this relational practice of Sangha is an act of generosity. You know, and we're always hearing, and we know it to be so true, that we can't do this practice without each other. So thank you for joining today. Upholding the precepts of non-harm, loving kindness, and compassion in practice is also Dana. It's in safety that we can grow in discernment and wisdom together. So it's in the spirit of Dana that Insight Dialogue is offered today. And so too, in the general and the greater Insight Dialogue community, our teachers and facilitators offer the practice and the Dhamma through our practice cohorts, our drop-in practice groups, retreat opportunities. And in their giving and receiving, in their generosity, they're part of the circle of giving and receiving that sustains and carries this Dhamma forward. So you too may join in this circle of reciprocity. And if you feel moved to support the ongoing transmission of this practice, you can always visit the insightdialogue.org and click on the Giving tab. And you can support individual teachers and facilitators. You can support the Sangha Teachers Fund and or the community and organization at large. Also, if you're inspired to get more involved by offering some of your time and skills, you may contact the organization at info@insightdialogue.org. And I'll put both of these in the chat right at the end of the meeting again for you, those links, although I think everyone here is familiar with the website. So thank you so much for your support. And Gregory, I'd like to turn this over to you.
Thank you, Mariah. A warm, heartfelt welcome to all of you as we start our new series of Sunday Sangha gatherings. Seeing you lifts my heart, for sure. Some of you I haven't seen in a very long time, so extra kind of shot of joy. I'm going to give us some time in silence just to gather in that way also. But before we drop into any formal practice, I want to point us towards whatever the world feels like now, before we do anything like try to calm down or try to get more aware of each other. Sometimes meditation can become a trance state, almost separated from things as they are. And so how does it feel to be in this body, in this moment, with everything in your house, in your family, in your health, your friendships, your dishes, whether the garbage is taken out yet, what you have to do tomorrow that's kind of back here somewhere. What's it like? A very frank, direct, mature sense of humanity, of our own humanity, each of us. And this is a good place to let that capacity to be aware of all of that sort of saturate you from the outside and let it infiltrate through the skin, every inch of skin, every centimeter of skin, through the bloodstream, into the muscles, the tendons, all the organs, so soft, and all the bones so hard. And if you even choose to, and you're comfortable letting the eyes close, with the closing of the eyes and the internality that's emphasized by that, feeling this saturation of the suchness of life, the very sense of existing in this life, dwelling in this body, in this life. Letting down into it. However the attention settles even a little bit, you can notice this. How does it settle? Where does it settle? Some of you are highly trained, and the attention goes to the breath because of that training. Some of you sense the whole of the body. Some of you attend immediately to the activities of the mind, but without being wrapped up, you notice. And perhaps you even notice that with every thought, there's an attendant bodily feeling. So it still brings you back to the body. Some of you notice the hands or the feet, or all of space, or awareness itself. So letting the attention naturally settle. without any effort on your part, just by the duty of the mind. It's always saying, what is this? What is this? And mindfulness, the remembering that, is never distant. Just this. What is this right here? Breathing is just breathing. Body is just body. Awareness, simply awareness. And this is a pause. From habit, from pressure, from the internal noise. And sometimes, of course, we forget the pause. Even when we're stopped in meditation, the habits of the mind push forward. But this is not a problem. This is just nature running its course. And we notice this. Ah, yes, right. And then there's a pause within the pause that refines it, remembers it. this pause is the seed of moral force. Because as long as we're lost in identification, our actions will just come from all prior actions. So the recollection of mindfulness is the source of goodness emergent from volition, intention, awareness. So this simple action of pausing can have great effect. I've been invited to introduce today a topic that many or maybe all of you have some familiarity with. It's the three bases of insight dialogue, which is to say the understanding born of reflecting on the question of what's going on here that makes insight dialogue an effective practice, a liberating practice, and seeing time and again the workings of the power of the meditative qualities, awareness, calm, essential and powerful in their own right. The power of Dhamma, of wisdom, again, even just on its own, how it has an opportunity, a way of changing how we see the world in wholesome ways. And this incredible power of relationship, to open the heart not only in love and compassion, but also to amplify and accelerate the meditative qualities, to deepen the experience, not the conceptual experience, but the embodied experience of the wisdom teachings. And how this goes around in a cycle and they all support each other in this great synergy. And the invitation today will be to explore this, and there's countless ways, as broad as the Dhamma, actually, literally, as broad as life. There's countless ways to explore this, but I'm going to focus on two qualities, or two, shall we say, things that emerge from these synergies. One is what we can call strength, and the other, what we might condense as calling freedom. And by strength, I mean energy, the energy that comes when, let's say, you and I are together, let's say it's just the two of us, and we pause, and that sati begins to recycle, and the virya, the energy that comes up in the body, the clarity of mind, the vitality, the staying with it, the perseverance quality of energy. You hold me to the moment, I hold you just by presence, not by force, by the compelling quality of our social nature, which is built in. But also the diligence that comes, the strength of diligence that comes with at this intersection where, oh my gosh, you've just told me something about the teachings that I had not seen, or being with you, I've reflected on my own attachments or biases in a way that I could not do alone. And I'm going to stay with this. I'm going to, I'm in. And I stay with it through up and down. So there's tolerance, there's consistency, and my God, life is hard, for actually in some way for all of us. And this diligence, the Buddha called it, the elephant's footprint. All the other wholesome qualities fit within it. And in my own experience, that's so true. I mean, my path of Dhamma is not so brilliant. I just stay at it. So, when death or disease hit you, when your own shortcomings are staring you right in the face, are you going to give up? You're going to say, it's too much. I'm just going to go have a drink. I'm going to just go watch some TV thing because this is too much. And sometimes it is. Okay, sometimes that is what you do. But by and large, the diligence is, I'm in, I'm staying in. And so at this intersection of the relational and the wisdom and the meditative qualities that give you enough stability, barely sometimes, enough stability to actually look at what's going on. That's where that diligence comes in, yeah. What's the choice? There's a little, boilerplate piece of Dhamma that is something like, he goes to hell, straight to hell as if, what is it? I don't know, as if born there or something. I mean, it's really like, we all know how to go straight to hell. We all know this, right? Here and now. So it's like, no, if that's the choice, I'm in. But also the part of strength that comes from the synergy of confidence. When you experience the power of metta together, when you experience your own expansion and compassion, and feel that there's such goodness even in the pain, when you experience the liberating quality of an awareness that's established no matter what happens. Your partner is in the hospital. Something in your life is falling apart, and awareness does something for you. But in Insight Dialogue, we practice that in this incredible complexity of relationship, of each other, like our humanity. If it's a group of 3 or 4 or a whole community doing it, wow. So that synergy brings the strength of confidence. I've seen this. I've experienced this directly. That's sada, also called faith. But there's a direct experience. That's why I'm using this permutation of confidence right now. Faith is beyond what you've experienced, right? It's like, it's been pretty good so far, but I don't know about this, that kind of thing. Yeah. So the strength emerging from the synergies, and I'll be inviting you to contemplate that. How does it show up in your practice? In the moment that you pause, do you sense like the meditative qualities are present enough and that somehow being with you is strengthening them? Do I feel that synergy? Do I feel the Dhamma at work? Do I feel that our support together to investigate this very fact of strength, the fact of energy, is helping me do it? That's the synergy at work. It's not hidden. We just have to remember to investigate, drop the concept, find the truth, and speak it. So it's, I'm giving you a mature practice. It's not as simple as just observing bodily sensations. You bring in the conceptual, which is this synergy stuff, the 3 bases, the power of it. Do I notice the direct experience of some aspect of strength, of confidence, of diligence, of energy? Do I notice it now? And I can speak it. Then we can investigate later how it is in manifesting in life. But the dropping of the concept after you present the contemplation, that's where you speak the truth. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of the thinking mind, because you need it to get the teaching presented to the backside of the mind, beyond that thin layer of language and cognition, going deep into the mind, deep into the body, deep into the heart. You offer that teaching. You offer that synergy. You offer that strength. Is it present now? Drop it. What's true? Not possible without a pause. You see that? Not possible to speak the truth without the pause. The prompt will be posted in the chat. The first speaker will have 6 minutes. The second speaker will have 6 minutes. And then a nice long space of 12 minutes to really drop into it. Take your time. Release the speaker-listener form. Find the moment. Pause. Find the truth. Do I sense the synergies working here and now? How is Dhamma supported in relationship? How is relationship supporting Dhamma? How are the meditative qualities supporting wisdom, supporting relationship? And so on. Do I feel the energy? Do I feel the confidence? Then speak. Pause and find that truth. So, I spoke earlier about these, how the meditative qualities and wisdom teachings and relationship each have a power, and how they synergize with each other, and all three together is the intersection, you might say. The power of insight dialogue emerges at that synergy. I hope that there's been some, direct noticing. And I spoke about how that might show itself in the form of zeal, diligence, strength in your path and your practice and your experience. I'd like to give you a chance to investigate with your meditation friend, your co-meditator, how this synergy of the three bases manifests now and in your life in the form of insight. How does it yield greater understanding, direct experience? How does it yield in your very life some inclination towards relinquishment, release, non-grasping, non-clinging? How does it yield in your very life something that we might call human goodness, human decency, kindness, love, compassion, care? And I collected those into this word freedom because the word freedom is so overused. At the beginning of the meditation coming to the West situation, no one wanted to use it. Everybody was too scared of it. And some of us were out there in the forward edge of the wilderness, committed to naming the human potential for freedom. And now that it's used so often, it begins to lose its meaning, its depth, its sense of this actual life, the real sense of freedom. So for this contemplation, I've unpacked these aspects of it. Genuine insight, relinquishment, and this human goodness. how do you see that in your actual practice, in the moment of interpersonal contact? And is this flowing into your life? The synergy, the energy that comes when we meditate together, when we examine together. There will be no taking turns. So you're emptying, you're kind of launching into this empty space of present moment investigation, freedom, emergent from the synergy of the three bases. Letting the pause support you. And that's where the relational power is recognized. That's where the Dhamma wisdom sparkles, guides, and you find the truth. Speak the truth. So the space is open to all of us, any of us. Is there a synergy manifesting now? Does it conduce to freedom? The awareness that we generate together, the wisdom that works with awareness now? The investigating together, not alone? Does that touch this moment? Does it touch our lives? As we close now, I'd like to take a moment to once again thank Mariah, Tsuming, Anita, Nancy, people who also aren't here who support all of this to happen. It doesn't happen by itself. A lot of gratitude. Also appreciate your skill. And I invite us to just reflect on the privilege of our practice together. It's a significant thing that we have the time and safety, that we can afford the technology, that we can sit here knowing that for most of us, I suspect all of us, that you know where your next meal is coming from. So there's all these privileges that support this very moment of practice and our Dhamma lives, our lives of care for others, and wishing all beings may experience increasing safety, well-being, that they too may have access to whatever nourishes the heart, and that they could share in the merit. Whatever we've generated today together, flows into the world in ways that we can't imagine. So knowing that, kind of intentionally expanding and inviting everyone to benefit from our practice today. May all beings without exception be well and happy. May all beings be free. May there be peace. May there be peace. May there be peace. Well, thank you, friends. Feel free to unmute, say goodbye, say hello, whatever would be said.